Hey, powerful people, we are here with Amber David, Winston-Salem State University, first-year student, poet, and influencer, and she is on the spot.
Yes.
And now for the question. Okay. Amber, what's the biggest life lesson you've learned so far?
Okay, so at this young, nice age of 18, I have learned that you have to find your path and walk on it. Because when you go on social media, everybody is trying to find this one path. And that's kind of the highlight for the entertainers and stuff like that. So you kind of feel pressure, just like, do I need to be trying to get rich quick or something like that? Does my passion really matter and stuff like that? So at this good young age, I just figured out that you have to walk your own path, and then your own gifts will start coming to you. The things that really fulfill you, because you're walking on your own path. So it's just like, yeah, I like this and I like that. So, yeah.
Sage advice.
Sage advice.
So on your path, what do you see as some important checkpoints you're looking forward to as you step off into your life at Winston-Salem State?
So I think a checkpoint was, for one, I told myself, I was like, before I go to college, I'm dropping this book.
Yes.
Like, I was just like, I don't care if I have to lock myself to a room for a week, I'm dropping this book. So checkpoint, check.
Yes,
that's one
done.
checkpoint. But I do want to try to be an influencer / model. That's another checkpoint in my life. As you can kind of tell, I'm kind of a glamour girl. So I adore like fixing myself up and portraying this type of image. If I can do it through my hair, if I can do it through my clothes, if I can do it through my makeup, I want to do it. So it's just like, when I find that checkpoint, that kind of look that I want to do, I think I'm going to start investing into getting photo shoots and stuff like that. Because I was in the River City Fashion Show, and that was just like, okay, so now I know I have the confidence to do it.
Right.
Let's turn this page and see what else I can do. Because now I know the look. I had to go by their look for that fashion show. But it's just like, now that I know that I can do it and I have the experience to do it, let's see what I can do for myself and what image I can put out for myself. So I think that's a checkpoint for me too. And I've also been thinking about going to, like, you know, the little not bars, but the diners with the open mic nights and stuff like that. I've already been doing my research because I want to take this book there. And I'm just going to, you know, bring a little read.
I got something for you.
Yeah, and just, y'all like that. This was out of my book.
Yes, yes. Which is available here on my table.
On the table, and also on Amazon if you don't have cash up, you know, all that good stuff. So it's just like, yeah, that's definitely a checkpoint. And I also been thinking about doing a master class on, it's called Healed Nation, because I feel like at this age of 18, it's so much going on. But I can relate to the 16-year-olds, but I also can relate to the people that are lost at like 20. When it's like 25, I don't really know.
That's a new realm.
That's a new, like, different. Yes. But it's just like from 16 to 20, I feel like we can vibe on the same page a little bit. And the girls that get it. So another thing when I was writing this book is just like, you find this temporary love, and then you find the love that you have in yourself. You find the love that God gives you. So it's just like, in womanhood, we all can relate that, because we all have like these emotions. All women feel. They can call us emotional and stuff like that, but we all feel.
Right.
So in the Healed Nation class, I was just going to do like steps on how to navigate your feelings and how to turn your feelings into passion, to your passion and the purpose. Because you think you're broken, but you're really just gracefully broken. You got to figure out how to turn your brokenness into art.
Right.
So.
Amazing. And so you're sharing a lot of golden nuggets. How at 18 have you gotten to be so wise and so grounded?
I kind of don't know. You live through life, I guess.
You're just an old soul.
In a young body. I've been saying makeup is like, these new school people crazy, but I'm new school. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, ooh, that's me right there. But it's not me. I think when it really started my self-discovery age at 16, because I've always knew, I've had this feeling, it was just like, I'm more. I'm more than this setting. I'm more than this conversation. I'm more than this group of people. So it really started off as I was dating at 16 years old, and then I got my heart broken. And I was like, okay, not doing that again until I figure out what I really, 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 really want. So then I started looking deeper into myself, and I was just like unpacking stuff. But then that's where the Love You Thought You Knew come from, because I was unpacking, but I didn't have nowhere to put it. So it's just like, I'm putting this at the back of my mind. I'm going to put this in my heart. I'm going to put this in my spirit. So just like, I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So then that's when I turned to God, because he already know. Like, he was just like, yeah, I seen that. I heard that. I knew you. I created you. So give me all of this and let's see what I can turn this into. And then boom, poetry, boom, content creation, boom, conversations. So if I could really give the credit to God, because he made me wise, and he really showing me like, this ain't this, but I'm going to show you what it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
Talk about poetry as therapy. Yeah,
That's
I
really
know
what it
you
was.
dig into some really deep topics in your book. How have you used poetry to help you process and release?
Well, poetry is really a pattern of words that tell a story, but it doesn't have to be a long one. Like, that's really all it is. Like you say, the ocean was as blue as the deep abyss of my heart. The color blue tells you a feeling of sadness or deep, and then the ocean is deep. So in my heart, you hurt me deeply in my heart. So when I was releasing through poetry, when you're broken, you feel shattered. When you're broken, you feel incomplete. So to find a piece that, if I can release it in this way and not in this way, because you have to find a way to release it. You can either find a way to release it by hurting people, or you can find a way to release it through art. And you're not hurting anybody. You're actually like letting it go. So when I was releasing, I just found myself having conversations that I didn't really have. Like, especially in this book, I was having conversations with that person, forgiving my inner child, forgiving myself, using the information that I already had. Because you can't be mad at a version of yourself that did the best what they had.
Right. Yeah.
So I just used the poetry to release. Like, it was really therapy for me. So yeah, I think that's the most I could talk about that.
Yeah.
Before I go all in a little. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So let's pivot to Winston-Salem State and your big plans for that new endeavor. What are you envisioning doing while you're there?
Okay, so they have this thing called Miss Freshman. And I just feel like I'm a miss and I'm a freshman. So I think I'm going to go for that. And I was thinking about doing majorette my sophomore year. I just got to get a feel for the campus, but I'm definitely going for Miss Freshman on the campus, because when it comes to somebody campaigning and putting themselves out there, I know how to do that.
Yeah,
I know
that's
how to
your
do that.
lane.
That's me right there. Talking about influencing, talking about leading, got to put me on the roster, because that's me right there. I can do that, but it's sometimes like shaky, because it's like I'm in a new environment and I don't really know. But I'm excited for the culture that I'm finna go see. I'm excited for the games. I love a good band.
Oh, well, there it is.
The horns, the the baton, and they be doing all the splits and stuff. I love all that. It's just like the rush of college, and I'm already starting to feel it, because I move in on Monday.
Oh, okay. So
it's like,
you're right there at
right
the...
there. So
Yeah. So major, what are you thinking?
okay. So I was thinking psychology, but then she was like statistics, and then it's more like mathematical and analytical. I'm more of a critical person. Like,
Okay.
I think that's more my lane, because if you go back and look at my transcripts from high school, social studies and English, those are my strong suits. When it comes to things making sense, it has to make sense to me, and it just doesn't. The wires never connect.
Okay.
So I was thinking doing social work, which is more of like okay, you did this and then this happened, so here's what's going to happen next. Social work kind of has like a more of a problem solving
Gotcha.
atmosphere, and psychology kind of has like, okay, I got to figure out why you did this, but then I have to figure out why you did this to do this and what happened then. But then it's just like,
All right. Yeah.
yeah. Too much already. So it's just like, I think I'm going to go into social work, but luckily they both have the same intro classes. So
Right. Yeah. So you can get in there and get a feel for everything.
yeah, dibble and dabble.
So I know you made a lot of important connections in the Danville community and have had a great impact on people in the community through your work with POP. Talk about your inspiration for POP and if you're thinking about carrying that on at Winston-Salem State.
So what POP was for me You know, it was just a safe place. That's really all I wanted it to be, was just a safe place. You could come here, you could chill.
And POP stands for
Progression over perfection. So,
Mhm.
especially in high school, you got to feel like it's, especially for the freshmen, you're coming to this new environment, and for some reason, it's just this story where you have to be intimidated by the seniors, by the freshmen. I don't know where that came from, but I was there because I definitely was. And it was mainly for the people that needed a safe place and wanted to chill. So I created POP, and we would have important conversation. It was a chill spot, but it was also a safe place. Like, we would talk about accountability partners. We would talk about gratitude. We would talk about grieving old versions of ourselves. That's when we like got deep into the year, and we
Yeah.
started getting comfortable with each other.
that is a
Affirmations.
topic you have to be comfortable,
Yeah.
you know, to start sharing that. Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, it was more of a family.
Right.
That's the word, family. So progression and perfection, I did think about taking it to Winston-Salem State, but they already have I think it was free hugs. So I was going to write a letter and try to become in collaboration.
Right.
Because I don't want to take over anything. If you got something I don't know, and I got something that you don't got, we can work together and start reaching these crowds like we're supposed to. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have to talk to admin and stuff like that. Got to do some big girl work, but I haven't got there yet. But that's what I'm thinking about doing. And then it's just like, it's different. So it's a different crowd. I have more resources there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, now I can reach a larger group. So I've already talked to some people up there about it on Ram Rush Day, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I've been so crazy about like trying to get lesson plans and stuff together, because I have to feel the campus first, and I haven't been on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So one step at a time, one day at a time.
Right.
One activity
One activity
at a time.
Progression over perfection.
That's right.
Just get the lesson plans done, or maybe not even the lesson plans. Maybe just get a little logo, a little flyer. If you're interested, let me know. Type thing.
Yeah. See, dip your toe in the water. Of it.
Right. See if it's too hot, too cold. Just right.
So as you're transitioning from one community to another, what are the things you hope for the Danville community as you're saying farewell for now? What are your wishes for the work that you've done and the impact you've had?
My hope is that it was inspirational for other people, because when I did that DPS video, I remember myself saying something, you don't know what your spark can light up somebody else. Like, when I was doing the stuff, like, I made it look easy, but it was actually pretty challenging, pretty hard, because you have to like show a different part of yourself to friends and teachers and stuff like that. So me coming out my comfort zone, actually people will come to me and be like, you know, you inspire me so much, you encourage me so much. And then I'll put them on the platform like, okay, I love that. So you should help me with this. So you can actually see, we get a little taste and stuff like that. So POP is still brewing at Galileo, because before I left, I was talking to some sophomores. I was talking to some freshmen. It's just like, hey, so when we was in the club, I really saw that you were creative, and I know that you can draw. So maybe you want to do an activity where you can get people's, because I had a Who's Popping wall where we will post our
Oh, that's so cool. I love that name.
A win week was like, if you had a win for the week, we'll put on the Who's Popping wall. So it's just like that gratification of walking by, hey, that's my work.
I'm popping.
Right.
That's who's popping.
Right. Popping. Maybe we should go up there and put a little picture up there. But I think my hope is that I inspire somebody to be different. Mm-hmm. Like, in a world where everybody's trying to be the same, I know it sounds so cliche, you have to be different, because that's where you can sprout. Like, you can't sprout trying to grow in somebody else's grass.
That's a word.
That's a word. You can't. It's physically impossible. Like, because you're trying to accustom your ways, you're trying to do what they do, but you got to do what you do. You got to walk in your own lane. So I hope that that's, if I leave anything in Danville, I hope I left. We're just going to use inspiration for the time being.
Okay, we'll take that.
Inspiration. I hope I left like a little mark. Was just like, well, if she do it, she's just a regular person. It ain't nothing for me to get out there and do it. So
what would be your pro tips for young people who are feeling like they're drowning in all of it, trying to be themselves, but feeling kind of trapped in whatever the mold that they're seeing out on social media or in the school? Like, what are your tips for how they can break free of that?
Honestly, that's something I'm still working on. But I have progressed from that spot I was at. And sometimes you really have to isolate. To get
Okay.
to know yourself, you have to isolate. Friends will call you fake. People will say you're being weird. But sometimes you have to isolate to know who you are. And in a world full of all that going on, sometimes you have to be like, okay, I like to paint. I like to read books. And then just start doing those small little things. And then people will see you reading books and painting. And then that's when your people will come. So especially at this age where we're always on our phones making TikToks and stuff like that, it's cool to just isolate and be yourself. It's cool to take a step back just to be like, okay, let me figure out what I like for a second. And it's good to do it while you're young. So it's like when you get older, it's not like you're trying to catch up.
Right. Yeah. I would agree that people go through these different crises in life because they've modeled their whole experience after what family may have wanted for them, or grasping at something outside themselves that they might see on social media, or they might see as someone else being successful, and never take the time to identify what makes them feel good. And then they're like, I'm unhappy with my life.
Right.
And have to backtrack and figure out,
where did I go
wrong? Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
And once you get older, you start to feel like you should be at a certain place financially. You should have certain things going on in your professional experience, and you can't change.
Right.
Now, that's not my vision. I feel like everyone has the opportunity to change. But a lot of times people are like, well, if I had done this 10
Back
years
then,
ago, 20
right.
years ago, but they don't feel like they have access to it now.
Right.
And I would love for more young people to be able to just tap into who they are, their own voice, and be able to operate from that platform.
Right. And it's hard to find it. Like it's so hard to find it because you have to dig, and then you have to get past this, and then you have to get past that, and then when it comes up who you are, it's just like, ooh, do I really want to step out that box? Because nobody knows the work that you've been doing. Everybody is still going off the old version that they've seen of you. So it's just like now we got to pop out. It's like, boom, this is who I am, like it or not. You got to find that confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough for people who have come to know the person you've created over the years, not the person you really are.
Right.
So now you've lost people. And so losing those relationships is its own challenge. But they had a relationship with another version of you that's not your authentic self. Right. So there's a lot that goes into really identifying who you are, what you want out of your life, and standing tall on those things.
Right. Because you really have to stand tall. Like, when you find yourself, you can't just take baby steps. You got to be like, boom, this is who I am. Or or fear is going to start to creep in. Or insecurities are going to start to creep in. Like, you really got to say it with your chest. Like, yeah.
Definitely
I'm an entrepreneur. So
yeah. Because if you don't believe it,
then you can't achieve it. Not in the boldness that you want to. You're not going to see the whole fruition of what you're supposed to. So yeah,
I love it. I would also love to hear a little of your poetry. If you want to read a selection, just bless us with that.
Okay, yes.
Now, to be fair, I've already heard some of her poetry, and it's amazing.
Exclusive. She got the exclusive.
Yeah, I want other people to have the experience.
Give me a topic. I don't know. I just love it all. Like,
gosh,
it has the healing in here. It has the hurting.
Just whatever your fingers fall on a page and it feels right, jump on in.
Okay. This is Tell Me. Should I give a little backstory behind?
Give us the backstory.
Okay,
yes,
so
please.
Tell Me is the transitioning. Tell Me is where the person or the temporary love that you had has left because it was temporary. It was never yours, but you felt like it was you. Sometimes some people feel like home, and then when they leave, you feel homeless, you feel lost. So Tell Me is when that person has left, but you're feeling like it's another chance, or you're feeling like I'd rather go back to being halfway homeless than trying to find myself. So this is Tell Me. Tell me that you love me, and I'll stop everything right now. I'll stop running laps around the track of my trauma. I'll stop singing into the mics of my insecurities. Tell me you love me. Tell me that I'm the one you want to be with. Tell me that you never hurt me or project your hurt onto me. Tell me you're going to be there for me. I'll stop the rotation of the earth. I'll interrupt the orbit of the planets. Tell me you value me. Tell me I'm the second thing to God on your list. Tell me that you take the skin off your emotions so I can see them raw. Let me know, please. Tell me something, please. This is killing me. It feels like I built a home around nothing but your existence only, containing the love that we used to share. Sculpted out the love, the tears I would cry. Tell me something. Give me something to hold on to so I don't let us go and fall into the abyss of nothingness along with everything else that has been buried in my heart. Tell me you love me.
Mm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for telling us your story, your vision for what you'll do next. I know that you will be overwhelmingly successful and have an incredible impact on your new community, just as big as an impact, maybe even more, as you did on Danville. And thank you for being on the spot.
Thank you. I love being on the spot. Is it still rolling? Do I say bye?
Sure, say bye.
Bye. Thank you.
On the spot.